You are listening to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM WVON. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
Good morning. I'm E.J. Williams.
You're listening to She Flips, He Flips. Give us a call at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. E-Jizzle, what can you be found?
You can call me, 773-340-9101. You can also email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com. I'm on Instagram at ultimate_EJ, also at Building Her Legacy Now. So if you have any questions about buying or selling or investing in real estate, or if you're looking for a mentor or even a project to possibly invest in, give me a call.
EJ's the woman. You can reach me at 708-647-1005. That's 708-647-1005 for all your insurance and financial services needs. If you want to discuss real estate, you're looking at getting some help with your real estate strategy, getting your business model together, go out to my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. Now, look, I like to talk business all the time, but, hey, this here pimping ain't for free. I'm just saying.
That's how you coming in on the new year, Curtis.
Man, Mike Corleone, Don, hey, Sean and I were just talking about this. I'm in the barbershop trying to get lined up in the Black Man's Country Club. If you're not respected nowhere else in the world as a black man, the barbershop is where you respect it. So I'm in the barbershop, and dude go, Monday. And they get you, they ask you a question, right? It's a trick. They ask you a question knowing that your instinct is starting to get involved in the conversation, and you look up, 30 minutes in past, a whole session in past.
Yep.
And they got the info. But it's all good.
You gave him the goods without collecting the coins.
There you go. I want to say good morning to everyone that's following us on Facebook Live. We got Sharon Napier Morris. She says, I'm so proud of you. I appreciate you. Who you got, EJ?
I have Shelly. I have Tanika. My dad is a faithful viewer. Hey, Pops. And Donnie. Hey, guys.
All right. We also got Miss Cassie Thompson. She says, hey. She got the way, hey, Cassie. Libby Joyce, my bookkeeper. I see you, Libby. We got I hate doing my taxes.
Oh, God, I do too. I have to do better about my taxes.
For real?
I get an extension every year. I'm just never ready.
These last 2 years have been crazy. I've had to get extensions these last 2 years. But I don't pay as an entrepreneur now, like that was the biggest shift for me as an entrepreneur, that, you know, you get, when you work, you get a W-2, and you take your W-2 statement to your
simple,
right? And they take the taxes out. Well, an entrepreneur, I got to do quarterlies, right?
Yeah.
I got interesting story, quick story. I was working with a colleague, and I was complaining about my quarterly taxes, and I was complaining about how much I need to set aside to take my quarterly taxes out. And at the time, I was like, man, you know, I got to take, you know, set aside $4 or $5 grand a quarter. Pay my taxes. I'm like, man, that's a lot of money. He's like, yeah. And I said, well, how much did you have to take for your taxes? Man, you be all right. 20 grand a quarter. 20 grand a quarter.
Oh, my God. I want to have them problems.
Man, them good problems. He said 20 grand a quarter. He said 20 grand a quarter. I was like, wow, 20 grand a quarter. God bless you.
Yes.
Give us a call, 312-374-8130. I want to welcome our guests.
Yes.
I've known them for a number of years. If you've been in real estate in Chicago and you got a home inspection, if you got a right one, a professional one, you probably got this guy to do it. Wow, he's one of our new preferred referral partners here with He Flips.
Yep.
I want to say good morning to our CEO of Excellence Inspection Services, Mr. Sean Bacon. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning, Curtis. Good morning, EJ.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Hey, it's definitely a pleasure. You know, like I say, Curtis and I, we've known each other for well over a decade, and EJ, you know, we've come across each other from a professional standing, probably the last 4 or 5, 6 years. So it's really an honor, you know, to be a part of what you guys are doing here.
Sean, you've been at the top. You know, I respect individuals who have longevity in their profession, and you've been around a long time. Like even before I really knew what the hell a home inspection was. You know, because if you don't buy property, you don't know. You don't really just go up. Hey, how you doing? Did you get a home inspection? You don't talk about that. It's like it's a conversation.
It's not the sexy side of real estate.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But you've been doing it for a long time. So
15 years.
15. So all the different angles to get involved in real estate. Could have been a realtor. Could have been a lender. How did you come across home inspection?
You know what? It's interesting. Back in 1992, I actually had a real estate license. I sold 2 houses, and and I just didn't stick with the business. What had happened, and you were actually a part of this. Remember back 2000, 2003, you're a guest host with Lynn Richardson on the Real Deal of Real Estate.
Real Deal of Real Estate.
And I'm listening to the show, and I'm listening to you guys talk about real estate, and, man, it's exciting. And I'm thinking, how can I get involved in real estate? Already had did the realtor thing, didn't want to be a loan officer. Appraisals, if you remember at that time, everyone was doing appraisals. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, Joe Smith was part of that team.
Yeah,
he was a home inspector. Yeah. And I didn't know anything about home inspections. I already had owned a couple homes. No one had ever offered me a home inspection. So that was the route that I took. Yeah. So then subsequently, was able to work with Joe and then, co-host with you, with Lynn, on the show. And, that's been a process ever since.
Open your business in what year?
2005.
2005. So in 20, so 15 years in the business. How have you been able to navigate the ebbs and flows? Because we know a lot of professionals who, when that 2008 bubble hit,
they were out the business.
It was out the business. How are you able to navigate?
Oh man, it was rough. I'm not even going to lie. But you know what? The only thing I focused on is to continue to provide value to clients and never to be complacent. So for someone that knew me back in 2003, 2004. That they would get the same level of service in 2020 as they did back then. Yeah. So never be different, never, hey, I remember when Sean was good back in 2005, but man, he slipped a little bit. So it's always that race to be better than I was yesterday. Yeah. And I remember 2008, 2009 like yesterday. Yeah. So I don't want to go back there. Yeah. So I'm going to do everything I can to insulate my business to make sure that, we stay at a particular level.
2008 was real interesting, EJ and Sean. Like I know what happened because I was there, but I didn't really feel the impact. A lot of my real estate partners around me did, and maybe it was just my model. See, I was always a buy and hold guy, right? So I wasn't into flipping and trying to take a property and refinance and take the appraised value out. That wasn't my game. My game was always been to buy, hold, get a couple of bucks here and there. Real time, and then by the time I get 15, 20 years down the road, they paid off and go. So it was always baffling to me when people, I'm talking about from realtors to investors to even the guy we talked about, Joe, he kind of fell off the map in respect to real estate. A lot of our partners just fell out. So I'm always amazed at individuals who persevered and steered the course. And about 2008 is kind of when you
Well, 06 is when we started, so it was still pretty hot then. But we came in just flipping. We wasn't buying and holding during that time. But we were doing it part-time. So for us, it wasn't our complete bread and butter. So we were able to scale back and make very smart decisions, and really was able to acquire some properties pretty cheaply then as well, so it worked for us. And I was doing real estate as a realtor on the side as well. So my entry time was pretty good.
I was going to speak to that. You said it and you just piggybacked off him unknowingly. When you have a distressed market, a down market, that's really the time to double down.
To buy.
Right. That if we were talking about investing, right, and stock prices, mutual fund prices,
right.
When they're down, that's when you can buy more, right? And those shares that you buy while they're down, if you hold them and they appreciate, you just bought more at a reduced price and you benefit from the appreciation on the upside. So if you're in your business model like what you did and kind of what you did, like double down and stay the course,
right?
A lot of times this thing is cyclical.
I had an investor that retained me like in 07 and 08, and he was just buying up 2 flats, 4 flats during that time because people were just trying to unload them. And now he's trying to sell them now because he just wants to retire and move to Florida. He said, I don't even want to deal with property management. And he is going to, make some wonderful gains because he bought it for so low. Yeah. And now, everybody's trying to buy investment properties now. So that's the game. People think, oh God, the real estate market is terrible. I'm not going to touch it. No, that's when you touch it, especially if you have a long-term, goal.
Yeah.
That's when you pick up.
Give us a call, 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. We here with EJ Williams. EJ, where can you be found?
You can find me by calling me, 773-340-9101. You can also email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com. If you're on social media, Instagram, ultimate_EJ, and also at Building Her Legacy Now.
Sean Bacon, CEO of Excellence Inspection Service. Where can individuals find you?
My telephone number is 708-299-9235. We're on Facebook, ExcellenceInspectionServices.com. Website is www.excellenceinspectionservices.com.
So, again, just so you don't think that all we talk about is real estate. When you got two great minds like EJ and Sean, I like to throw different things at them to kind of see what their perspective.
No warning, so I don't know what this man is about to say.
It could be politics. It could be
it's funny you
ribs.
Say that. It's funny you say that.
Right. Why is the man always talking about ribs? If you talk about me being greedy.
Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
I figured it out. If you're a Democratic strategist and you're figuring out how to beat him in the next election, this is what you got to do. You got to watch Netflix. You got to watch Netflix. Because I discovered that Donald Trump, he watches House of Cards. Because what he just did, I saw Francis on House of Cards do it. They got ready to impeach Francis on House of Cards. And what did he do? He started a war. They impeached Donald Trump.
Right.
And what did he do? He done popped something off.
I can't even talk about it.
What's the
And it's crazy. Did you see how all his tweets and his rants about Obama back in 2011 saying that he started this war to get reelected?
Yeah.
Right.
And look at this fool.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if you can't beat him, joint like.
Hey, he's pulling out all the stops now.
He is.
But it's the biggest farce. Like it's a huge distraction. But hey,
and he putting lives at stake.
This is not a game.
It's not a game.
We have soldiers over there. We have, civilians over there. And what we've learned that when you fight this particular enemy, they fight differently.
Right.
It's kind of like you fighting in the park in the schoolyard, and you square up with the person you square up with. That's normal. But it's that person who come like.
Right. The wild.
Right. Who off beat and they doing like
taking their earrings off and put the Vaseline on their face. They serious.
This
and then their cousin coming to the fight too.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, hold on, who are you?
Yeah, this enemy that he's barking up that tree is a different.
Yeah.
They play differently. They have a different fervor, a different belief system.
Yeah,
and so blessings and peace to everyone that may be touched by this.
Especially our troops on the first line.
Yeah. So we are entrepreneurs, and we do different things in respect to strengthen our real estate portfolio. We first of the year, new cannabis law. What did you guys think about that? I'm curious. I got my thoughts. I know a random thought, but cannabis law. I mean, you saw all this recreational cannabis. The fervor, the excitement about the opportunity, and if you turned on the news, you saw these huge lines with hundreds of people waiting to buy weed. It's the truth. It's the truth. They're waiting to buy weed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even the lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
You saw her? Yeah.
No.
I didn't see.
Yeah. She was in there like, geez, I got my.
Did she get an eighth?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, she was plugged. She had it all.
I just say free all the brothers and sisters that's locked up for these petty, weed charges. Free them.
Okay.
Because now that white people are able to capitalize on a legal state, because I don't think are there any African American owned dispensaries?
Not at this point.
No.
And I know that was one of the things that had been talked
That's my
about.
issue.
I know that was something listening to Perry's show earlier in the week. Is that at this point there are no African American owned dispensaries?
Yeah.
And the
Or
aldermen,
growers.
Yeah.
So you have an industry is going to be $1 billion industry that has adversely impacted one segment of the society, i.e. minorities, i.e. African Americans, more so than anybody else.
Yep.
But we're the ones who can't participate in the financial windfall.
Right.
If you've done any kind of research about this opportunity, even everything about it didn't screamed out. This is not for the average black folk. You know what I mean?
Right.
The application fee, $5,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the license is $100K.
To
have a license.
The application is based upon like a 300-point system, I believe, right? And in order to effectively navigate the application, you have to have some kind of experience or exposure to the industry, right? The average person, it's like somebody who's never done real estate, EJ, trying to create a business plan about real estate investing, right? Or somebody who's never done home inspection trying to create a business plan about becoming in order to do it, they'll have to talk to you maybe or EJ to get the information to at least
you have to
something.
hire consultants, lawyers.
To that point.
And where are your funds coming from?
To that point, these consultants are charging $20K.
Yep.
Right? So now you're $25K in. You haven't even talked about the money it actually takes to actually start the business, which can $500,000, $250,000 to $500,000.
Yeah, I think you got to have at least $1 million cash liquid.
That's crazy.
You know, that you're accessible to.
So why I brought this up, because it reminded me of real estate. It always seems that when there's an opportunity, right? Whenever an opportunity, a new market or something that's good for an opportunity financially, we African Americans, black folks, can never ever be allowed to play.
Right.
Either there's a barrier to entry, right? Or right when we get into it, the rules change.
Yeah, they change up the rules on
right?
you.
Even when we think about flipping, when we think about this whole real estate and investment opportunity, when I hear so many people talking about it, I'm both encouraged, right? Like, okay, good for us. But I'm also like, when I see this, it tells me that the cheese is probably moved and we don't really know it. It's
Definitely. Yeah. I'm saying that with our mentees. And some people may know we have a mentorship program called the Ultimate Real Estate Blueprint. And before we'd say, hey, just contact this lender, get yourself pre-approved, your hard money, and come back and we're ready to go. Now these lenders want you to have experience. Well, how are you going to get experience if
you don't give me the money to do a deal?
If you don't give me the money to do it.
Right.
And so, we've had to go on, because most people will, flip in a business name, LLC. We've had to leverage our experience putting ourselves on the operating agreement. This is like,
wow,
for these people so that they can get the loan, so that they can leverage our properties that, projects that we've done in recent years. Otherwise, they are not lending to them.
Yeah.
And I get it. There have been a ton of people who defaulted on trying to flip because HGTV has gassed them up thinking that, it's sweet and it's something that you can just do in your sleep. So I get that part from the lender's perspective, but it's created now these barriers for people who truly want to get into the business, and they can't because they may not have me, or Jason that can help them to do something like that. So it's like you should, like you say, you get the cheese and then you move it again.
It's like whenever we get into it, right? The proverbial it could be anything. It could be real estate, it could be insurance. Whenever we get into it and start to really get
seeing
good
some
at
money,
right?
And getting good,
the game changes.
Yep.
They change the rule. They switch it up, or it's something else. Like there's an article, and I don't know how much we'll get into this article, but when we're reading this article about the margins in terms of the profitability in flips. EJ, I know you're the queen of the 50K flip. What do you see on average, realistically? Average. What's that? What's an average flip? I know that can be different from investor to investor, but
meaning like your return.
Yeah.
Well, for us, we average somewhere between 45% and greater return on our investment. I think more novice investors, maybe the first time, they may see somewhere in the 20s to 30%, return. But if we're not seeing where the numbers can be at least 45% to 50% return on it, we're not doing it.
Now, to that point, just think about it. How many opportunities for potential deals that with that criteria you gave me?
Right.
Are you still seeing the same number of potential deals that fit that criteria?
No,
now?
It's harder to find it.
It's harder now.
It's harder to find it.
Yeah.
Just in this last year, it has gotten a little bit more tough to find these deals because the acquisition prices have been going up like crazy.
Yeah.
These foreclosures, these REOs, where 2 years ago, the same house you may be able to pick up for 40, 45 grand. They want 60 grand, 65,
70
70,
Yeah.
It's like, come on, y'all.
It's throwing off the flip.
Yep.
And if you keep it for and buy and hold, it's make your residual money that you get on a monthly basis that much tighter. And it's begging the question, to get this $100 a month that now you just shrink my margin to, is it worth it? Now, you can still play the long game in terms of the equity and have it on the balance sheet, and that's still smart.
Right.
But it's making you look at it from a different lens. What I'm going with this is, though, I got to believe, and I know it is, right? There's levels to everything. So a lot of us, minorities, blacks, we're into the flipping and we're in the holding, and that's good. I'm not, we got a show called She Flip, so I believe in it, right? How do we crack the code to learn how to actually develop, right? Because these boys are selling stuff in bulk, right? They got land, and they're not just flipping a house. They flipping houses,
right.
30, 40 developments, How we get into construction for commercial, these high rises that we see. And it's a very small percentage of us that actually figured out how to get that. And my thought is, and I know this, as soon as we figure out how to do that, right, it's going to be on to something else, right? The getting ain't good no more. That's the part that pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's the part that pisses me off. What do you think about that, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it's, as they say, it's always going to be a moving target.
Yeah.
As soon as we start to have some level of success, all the target's going to move, and it's going to make it, harder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the aspect of that, though, is that it does make us, much smarter in that process as well.
Sure.
Because if we're going to follow the moving target, you can't be complacent about
Right.
that.
Sure.
You got to, be on your
Stand the
game.
A-game.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it also begs the point that we have to be more vigilant about working together and growing our
Absolutely.
resources.
Right.
We cannot be successful in this and do this on the island. Like the things that and I know, and this is one of the reasons why we thought EJ and I were thinking about this preferred referral partner system. We got to bring together a super team, right? Not just to help people to get through deals, but to become like a reservoir of knowledge.
Yeah.
So we can figure out how to keep evolving,
Right.
because we're not evolving, we're becoming static. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to pick Sean's brain about home inspection and learn all the do's and don'ts. You're listening to She Flips, He Flips, Curtis R. Monday.
EJ Williams.
We'll be right back. So I'm Curtis R. Monday.
Good morning. I'm EJ Williams.
Give us a call at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. Joined by in-studio guest, our newest preferred referral partner, Mr. Sean Bacon. Good morning to you, Sean.
Hey, how you doing, Curtis? How you doing, EJ?
Hey.
For home inspection, Sean, where can individuals find you?
Telephone number is 708-299-9235. Our website is www.excellenceinspectionservices.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
All right, the great EJ Williams, where can you be found?
You can call me 773-340-9101. Shoot me an email at ej@buildingherlegacy.com. You can also slide in my DMs on Instagram.
Sucks now.
Ultimate_EJ, also at Building Her Legacy Now.
All right. For all your insurance and financial needs, call the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency at 708-647-1005 to get together to create your real estate investment strategy. Go to my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. I want to say good morning to Carl Posley. Good morning to you, Carl. Also, Jay Hope, my cousin from the A. What's up? And David Cannon. David is another real estate investor. I know him personally. Great. He was in the medical industry. I think he was a nurse, but bought investment properties on the side, bought everything cash. I think at one point had 25 properties, single-family homes, cash, all paid for.
I love it.
And now he's doing it full-time, investing, flipping, developing, everything, man. The guy knows. I pick his brain a lot when we talk about real estate.
Oh, that's cool.
I want to pick your brain, Sean, and let's get into the conversation. We'll talk about home inspections, and EJ and I both a lot of times are in the investment realm where we buy properties as is and things of that nature. And it's always been a question of mine about home inspections, especially if you're buying an as is property. What's your take on it? Do you advise people if you're buying a property that you're going to fix up and flip, are home inspections even needed?
Now, I mean, for you guys, because you're experienced, so I mean, you've done dozens, if not hundreds of purchases. But for someone that's purchasing for the first time, I think it is important because you also have to know what is your threshold in terms of what type of issues you can deal with and what type of issues you don't want to deal with. And if you don't have those parameters set, then yeah, you can, just like we were talking about earlier, in terms of returns, your return could be a lot less because now, you didn't anticipate having to deal with this significant foundation issue that could be $20,000 more than what you anticipated. So definitely for, first-time purchasers, whether it's from an investing standpoint or from a home, just a home buying standpoint to live in, I think it's extremely important.
EJ, when you're coaching your mentees, are you advising them to get home inspections on flips?
I always do because I don't want the backlash of some hidden issue, just like Sean mentioned. If it's a structural issue that you didn't budget for, that can kill your profit. So I would never tell someone not to get a home inspection. I have a client now, and she's an attorney, and they're buying an investment property. It's just a condo that they're going to be renting out, and they chose not to do a home inspection. But they asked me, I said, hey, I'll never advise you not to get one because it's not worth you not getting. Yeah, you can save yourself $400 or $500, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not worth it. Now, for me, to Sean's point, because we've been doing this almost 15 years. When I'm looking at it, Jason can look at it, and then our contractors will look at it. Yeah. So we're pretty confident in what we're purchasing. But for a novice investor, I would advise.
And that's
what
I was going to say on my projects. I won't for the ones that I'm flipping, even holding. I want they're messed up anyway. So I already know
we're doing everything.
Right. I already know they crap anyway. So I have my contractors out there, and I need you to tell me just how much crap I'm going to get ready to buy. Right. So you had a point.
I think that's smart. But the other thing is, even for those novice buyers, when they're going through with the inspector, that's where you can learn a lot about properties.
Yeah.
So it may take maybe 2 or 3 inspections to kind of pick that inspector's brain, and then you get to the point where you feel comfortable being able to go through a property and saying, okay, I can deal with that. I can't deal with that. That's a little bit out of the realm in terms of what I wanted to, pay for and things like that. But yeah, I think the inspection process, not only from a functionality standpoint, but also from an informational standpoint.
Yeah, and Sean is really good with that. I refer him to pretty much all of my buyers, but I do refer others because legally I have to give them others. But
no, you don't.
I give Sean the wink. It's like, which one should go with? I was like, well, who did I give you first? But Sean is really good when walking the property, especially with people who are going to buy and live in it, for residential, and explaining what you see and how you can mitigate, the issue if it's something that they should really be aware about, or, oh, this is not a big problem, or it won't cost you, a whole lot to fix. But his reports, not only walking the property, but his actual report that he gives you is very thorough. That's why I really love referring Sean.
And they become a negotiating point.
It does.
When you get the home inspection report, you can use that as a tool to negotiate, on the purchase, and it also gives me a blueprint in respect to, okay, these are the things that I need to look at. These are small, I can worry about that later, but these are some bigger things.
Yeah, because the thing is, the inspection report, it's layered, so there are some things that need to be dealt with immediately, but there's some things that can wait a year, or some things that are done on a seasonal or regular maintenance standpoint. So that inspection report really kind of gives you the Bible for that house at that particular point in time. So it's a good jumping off point in terms of how you want to plan how you're going to take care of that home, not only over the next few months, but over the next few years.
Now, Sean, I don't know if this is possible, but I'll throw this idea out because it can have a tremendous impact on your bottom line costs in respect to insurance. When I look at a piece of property for insurance, it's the rate is based upon the age of the property, right? There are a lot of these properties that come to me for insurance that the property has been clearly rehabbed, right? Electrical, plumbing, heating, all that's brand new. But the buyer doesn't have access to the seller's contractors, right? So from an insurance standpoint, I need some kind of proof. And most times I can use the contractor signing off that the heating, electrical, and plumbing have been renovated on this date. But the buyer is in a conundrum because he or she doesn't have access to the seller's contractors. So you got this property that's been newly rehabbed, and you can see it visually, but because I don't have documentation as an insurance professional to attest that when this work has been done, it doesn't help them. So what do we use? We go by the age of the property. Now, to you, it would be very helpful on a home inspection report. If on the home inspection report, somehow, some way, you can attest that, hey, you know what, electrical, newly renovated, 2018, plumbing, newly renovated, 2018, whatever it is. Because now I can get that copy of the report, I can give it to the underwriter. Here's the professional, because what they don't want is a handyman doing the work.
Right.
And that's significant for EJ clients because you got debt to income ratios and they get stuck up. You're talking about 30% discount on the homeowner's insurance just with that discount alone. So I don't know if we could do it. That'd be great. You're cornering the market.
Right.
Hey.
Now, what I will say in relation to that, Curtis, when it comes to the mechanicals for a home, so, furnace, water heater, air conditioner unit, we do, indicate what the age is. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging when it comes to, a roof now, obviously you can see it's a new roof. Obviously you can see there's new electric, new plumbing and things like that. But it still comes down to, and you just kind of alluded to it, like the quality of who's doing the work.
Yeah.
If, it can be new, but if it wasn't installed properly, it still doesn't mean a whole lot.
It can be a problem. It can be a problem. Sean, what if you buying properties out of town? How do you?
I think it's extremely important to have an inspection done.
Better.
I do. I would say at this point for 2000, and actually I had one yesterday in Pilsen, I would say probably 15% of our business is for out-of-town investors. You know, so because the Chicagoland market versus other markets throughout the country is still underpriced. You know, so the inspection I did yesterday was for a gentleman out of San Francisco. He can't buy in San Francisco what he's buying in Pilsen, you know, today. You know, so, and, you know, in that situation, it's a little different because it's still an inspection, but also I actually talk to the clients as well, you know, so we have a phone conversation. Sometimes I take a video of the inspection, you know, just to give them a better perspective of, you know, what I saw during the inspection. Because sometimes they're purchasing these properties other than what the realtor may have shown them through a 360, you know, video or something like that. Yep. They're buying these sight unseen.
How does an investor in San Francisco know to go to Pilsen?
Well, I mean, if they're doing their research, they're going to look and see what markets are yielding, you know, greater returns. I have 4 investor clients that live in California. In Southern California, one is in the Bay because, to your point, your dollar will go almost 5 to 10 times, you know, longer here than it would in those more expensive markets. They can't pick up. I have a investor client. He picked up a single family in West Pullman for $40,000. I rehabbed it for him. It needed some updates for about $15,000. So he's all in $55,000. There's no way he can be all in $55,000 in Southern California, Pasadena, where he lives. You know what I mean? So
that makes sense. But I guess where I'm going with that, what research tool are they using to know that Pilsen is? I'm from Chicago, right? I'm born and raised in Chicago, right? So when I look at the properties I'm interested in, I gravitate towards areas I'm familiar with. Right. South Shore, Roseland, Chatham. You know, those are things, Pullman. I know, I've invested in them. I know them, right? Where I get lost sometimes is if you ever go on Cook County Land Bank and you see like these it's all these little neighborhoods, right? Right. Cragen North, Belmont, right. Humboldt Park. And I'm like, damn, is that a good area? I don't like.
You have to get in your car and drive around. You have to get on, you know, the websites and look at.
That's what I'm getting
the distressed properties and what are the ones that have been rehabbed. What are they selling for? You just have to do your research.
That's what I'm getting to. Maybe do a whole show about that, about the research. Because I'm not. Look, first of all, I don't even know what. Can I get in my car and say, "Hey Siri, take me to Humboldt Park"? I don't even know.
Depending upon who you get, they may not take you.
I don't even know what Humboldt Park like.
Right. And I have a project in Humboldt Park too.
So I mean, that's always something. And I say this because when I talk to other investors, especially on the South Side, it appears that the South Side, if not now, very soon, it's going to be saturated. Right? It's only so many properties in the I mean, just real strategy aside, you got a finite area. Right. Only a finite amount of property. There's only so much you can do. So you're going to have to. And I ran to one real estate investor. He said, "Hey, you know what? I went out west. I'm on the west side." I said, "Why? Less competition." Yeah. What do you know about the west side? Nothing. They don't have grass. Like this concrete. You know the west side don't got grass.
Please don't call in on Curtis.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, the west side don't got grass, man.
I want that west side smoke.
But you know the same thing is going to happen on the west side as well.
What?
Saturation? It's going to happen out there as well.
Yeah. So,
but I know investors that are only doing west side, Maywood, and all in that area over there. Yeah. And I think to your point, but a lot of them are from that area. They know the area. Ask people. Right. People ask me, "Do you invest on the west side?" It's not so much that I wouldn't, but because I have so many projects out south, just the proximity, the travel time going, you know, back and forth, if I can yield those same, you know, returns in the neighborhoods that I know like the back of my hand, it just makes more logistical sense for me to stay there.
That's what we coach. We're coached that if you got a project, you want to be in driving distance, right? So you have the ability to go and get there pretty quickly if you have to. Right. It becomes cumbersome from, if I'm on the south side, to get up north, right? It gets harder. I may not even visit that project a lot just because of the proximity. But to that other point,
I will go where the money, you know, takes me. Like, to your point, you know, we have a project in Humboldt Park, and that's going to be a great one, and it's worth the travel time.
How did you
for
find
us
the
to
project
go.
in Humboldt Park? I know you got a great mechanism, you got a great networking system.
Right. Uh-oh.
But that's the evolution as we coach and teach.
It was off market. Okay. So it wasn't we didn't find it through the MLS or the land bank. Someone tapped our shoulders about it.
Yeah. I always think about that. Like, how does an investor in Frisco know to go to Pilsen?
But I think part of it is creating a team. So, like, he's working with a commercial, real estate agent that I'm working with for quite some time. And this guy went through, the agent went through a lot of steps to show this person this particular property. And it's a very unique property. When you look at it from the outside, it looks like a multi-use commercial property. 2 units up top and commercial space. Now, when you actually go inside, it's been converted into a 7-unit.
Wow.
And they're all, occupied, and they're all young, eclectic professionals. So people that, paying their rent on time and this was uncharacteristic for a multi-unit inspection. Every unit was clean. A lot of times when I'm doing, a 6-unit or a 12-unit or a 13-unit, I could pretty much guess if I can get in the unit, because sometimes they won't let you in the unit because they didn't know about the inspection. But, you see, the unit's not taken care of well. You can see damage on the ceiling and things like this. The entire
inspection reports. Is there a difference in inspection reports that an investor may have versus someone who's going to actually buy the home as a primary residence?
It's the same report. The only thing is I may add additional pictures and I may go into a little bit more definition and clarification, only because they haven't seen the property. So I'm trying to paint a picture for them so they can get a better view of the property. And like I said, the other thing is I will, add the additional consultation services as well, whether it's, a video or talking on the phone about the inspection. A lot of times those type of things don't happen on a regular home buyer type of inspection process because they're with me when I'm doing the inspection. So we're already having that conversation face to face on site.
Yeah. The home inspection process, I think, is one of the unsung heroes in the whole home buying and real estate process. People tend to forget about it. It's like an afterthought. But if you got a good attorney, they'll say, hey, you know what, get a home inspection.
You got a good broker.
Coach, good broker, they're going to say, get a home inspection. What do you see as the next evolution in the business? How do you see the business evolving?
I think technology has really improved our business, tenfold. When I think about when I initially got into this, you could have a screwdriver, a flashlight, and a ladder, and you could do an inspection. Now, in addition to that screwdriver, flashlight, or ladder, you better have a moisture meter. You better have an infrared camera that allows you to see, behind the wall. You better have a drone because every roof you can't climb, so the drone is going to allow you to be able to view that roof safely. So technology is, even the way we do reports, now, we're able to embed video into reports. There's some report formats where you don't even have to click or tap on a phone. You can just talk into your phone and it automatically puts the information into the report for you. So I think technology, is going to continue to improve to make it, much easier for us to be able to disseminate that information, to our clients.
Yeah. People ask me a lot when we're talking about business, especially with real estate, about what they passive income versus active income. My definition of passive income is evolving. When I thought about passive, initially it was always like rental properties, and you got a kind of hands-off approach to get your money. Now my definition of passive income in real estate is evolving to these other areas of real estate that don't require me to be boots on the ground, like becoming like a private money lender or trying to figure out how to be a part of a syndicate or other partnerships, or even how to look at my business from a global perspective and take it apart and figure out how I can use my capital to invest in other pieces. So if Sean's a home inspector, right, and we just had a whole idea about technology, well, who's a leading company who makes drones, right? Maybe some of my proceeds need to go towards that to actually let that work. It's evolving. And I think that as you become an entrepreneur and as you grow in your business, you'll start to step away. EJ and I always talk about this goal of talking breezy, like getting, just being able to use our knowledge versus we enjoy the minutia of it and the details of it, but there's a different evolution to it.
But I think it's extremely important because it's something that even owning an inspection company, for 15 years, as I realize I need to diversify.
Yeah.
I can't just be an inspection company. There are other areas that I can get involved in because, if the market does change, I don't want to, change. I don't want to be, a victim of it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even when you start talking about this whole cannabis law thing, you can make money. You don't have to necessarily be recreational cannabis licensee. You can make ashtrays.
Yeah.
You can make, the fans.
Yeah.
Weed got to come out somewhere, and it has an obnoxious smell.
Right.
Figure out something to take the bad smell away.
Cologne.
Yeah. Man, I even saw something that had vegan weed paper. Mm-hmm. How the hell can weed paper be vegan? I don't even smoke like that, but I'm like, how does
like that?
Like that?
Curtis out here telling on
Right.
It's legal, and my employer does not require drops. Curtis on Monday. But like, how can hell can weed paper be vegan?
Right.
Like, somebody made that up and marketed it, and guess what? They're getting
they're getting paid.
They're getting paid from it. So,
but just think about it. That's how Amazon started. What was Amazon initially?
Books. Yeah.
And now they control everything.
Yeah.
They control the world.
Yeah.
Amazon hit me with the Amazon Prime re-up for $119. I'm like, what is this, man? I was mad. I didn't buy nothing. Like, oh, that's the re-up, $119. Yeah, you depend on Amazon for everything. Time flies. We're having fun with our last 5 minutes. Sean, give us some parting words of wisdom and your contact information.
Hey, it's definitely a pleasure to be, to be with you guys. I've respected you guys over a period of years, and looking forward to big things in terms of the plans that you guys have for the Chicagoland real estate market and for the WVON family. You can reach me, Excellence Inspection Services. Telephone number is 708-299-9235. Website is www.excellenceinspectionservices.com, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
The one and only E.J. Williams.
I just wanted to say thank you again, Sean, for joining us. I have a lot of respect for you and for your work, so this is truly a pleasure to have you as a partner. And you can find me if you're looking for a realtor to help you buy, sell, and invest. If you're looking for a mentor to get you started for your real estate investing, whether you're looking to buy and hold, if you're looking to flip, I have some opportunities available also for you to be a junior venture partner with us as we rehab a Greystone over in the Woodlawn area. So if you want to come on site and see how we work our magic, we have some opportunities for you.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, we have some opportunities for training there. And then also you can reach me by phone 773-340-9101. You can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com and follow me on Instagram, ultimate_EJ, and also at Building Her Legacy Now.
Both Sean and EJ are phenomenal. I'm humbled to be associated with them, and I appreciate what they do and what they've done for a number of years. If you're interested in getting your financial portfolio together, call me, the Curtis R. Mundy Insurance Agency, at 708-647-1005. If you want to get together for strategic coaching with your business model, definitely with real estate, reach me at www.curtisrmonday.com. I'm going to post a video. But Dan Franklin, I ran into him the other day, and we were talking about something along these lines, and gave him an impromptu coaching session. I need you guys to pray that the New England Patriots win this game tonight, man.
Hey, if they don't, this might be Brady's last
Hey,
game.
man, look, man, I need these Patriots to win tonight. Y'all don't know how angry I am when the Patriots lose. Big cousin.
Yeah. From a real estate perspective, I heard he has his house on the market in Boston.
He's trying to go, man.
Really?
Look, man, boy, look. If they cheat, y'all better cheat with them. Figure it out. They great. I respect them boys. What up, Jeff? We got to go, man. Ramon Ellis, we appreciate you, Dan Franklin,
And
Brian
hey,
Fleming.
Chanel, my bestie, Ryan, my brother Jay, Derek, Phillip. Thank you guys for watching. Joy, Gloria, Lamont, Damon. I appreciate all of you all for tuning in, supporting us.
Got to go. See you next week. Bye-bye.
All right.